Have you ever wondered what really happens when a new appliance turns out to be dangerous? I mean, sure, companies have to report on it, but those reports are usually buried in corporate speak. Well, today, we're going to crack that code. I'm going to show you exactly how to read a product safety report so you can see for yourself which companies are actually putting your safety first. Okay, let's be real. When your brand new toaster shoots out sparks, you're annoyed, right? But for the company that made it, that little spark can set off a massive, multi-million-dollar chain reaction. The true cost is so much more than just a simple replacement. So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the hidden dangers. Then we'll look at the universal report card that's used to grade safety. After that, we're diving into the nitty-gritty, how recalls get reported, what makes an incident truly notable, and finally, we'll follow the money to see the real financial fallout. All right, first up, let's really get a handle on the stakes here. A faulty appliance isn't just an inconvenience. It can be incredibly dangerous. And the official standards don't pull any punches. A single malfunction can lead to fires, major property damage, serious injuries, or, even death. Now just think about that from the company's side for a second. That's not just a product failure. That's a perfect storm of lawsuits, brand obliteration, and a total collapse of customer trust.
So how do we keep track of all this? How do we hold companies accountable and actually compare their safety records? Well, that's where a standardized framework comes into play. It's called the SASB standard, and you can think of it like a universal translator for corporate responsibility. Seriously, before this, trying to compare the safety records of two different companies was almost impossible. SASB makes them all speak the same language, so we can finally make real apples-to-apples comparisons on the things that really matter, like product safety.
And here's a little peek inside the rulebook for appliance companies. As you can see, it covers a lot. But right there under product safety, there are a few key metrics that tell the most important part of the story. And we're going to zero in on the three that are all about the hard numbers.
So let's jump right in with that first metric, product recalls. This is where the numbers really can't lie, and it's the first huge step toward genuine accountability.
First things first, let's be super clear on what a recall actually is. It's not just some friendly suggestion from the company. The standard defines it as the official process of pulling a potentially dangerous product off of store shelves and, more importantly, out of our homes.
Now, recalls basically come in two flavors. You've got your voluntary ones, where the company gets ahead of the problem, and involuntary ones, where regulators have to step in and force their hand. But here's the most important part. It doesn't matter who started it. The company has to report both types, no exceptions.
So the very first number a company has to slap on its report card is simple, but it's powerful. How many separate recall events did they have in a single year? This number tells you all about the frequency of their safety issues.
The second number, well, this one gives us the scale of the problem. See, it's not just about how many times they had to issue a recall, but the total number of individual products they had to pull back. One recall might be 10,000 units, but another could be in the millions. This number tells you that story.
But, raw numbers don't always paint the full picture. The standards get that. They recognize that some recalls are way more serious than others, and for those, they require a much deeper dive, a much fuller explanation.
So, what's the line in the sand? When does a simple recall number cross over and become a notable incident that requires a company to tell the whole story?
The standard is actually very clear about this. A recall gets that notable tag if it involves a huge number of products, or, and this is absolutely the most critical part, if it's connected to serious injuries or even deaths.
And for these major notable recalls, just giving a number won't cut it. The company is forced to be completely transparent. They have to lay out the root cause, reveal the full scale of how many units were affected, disclose the financial hit they took to fix everything, and, this is the big one, prove what they've done to make sure it never, ever happens again. It's a full accountability check.
And that brings us to our final metric, which, let's be honest, is often the most telling one, the direct financial cost of getting product safety dead wrong.
Companies are required to disclose one single hard number, the total amount of money lost from legal proceedings related to product safety. This is the financial penalty for failure, tallied up in plain black and white.
But you gotta look at the fine print here to see what makes this number so powerful. Okay, so it includes all the fines, all the settlements a company has to pay out. But look at what it excludes, their own legal fees to defend themselves. That's a huge distinction. This number isn't the cost of fighting a court case, it's the cost of losing it. And just like with those big recalls, they can't just drop the number. They have to explain why it happened and what they've done to fix the underlying problem.
So there you have it. From the number of recalls to the costs of legal settlements, you now have the tools to actually read a company's product safety report card. It's an incredibly powerful way to look right past all the marketing fluff and see the real story. So, the only question left is, who's actually passing the test?